Hey V, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, Monet.
How's it going?
So far, so good. Thanks.
Is it sunny in Singapore right now?
Yes, actually, it's just about 5 minutes past 1 p.m. here. And the day looks bright. The plants look great. I think we can just kickstart the AMA. And
Yeah,
I just wanted to, start off by saying, first of all, thanks for, having set up the entire Discord and bringing a lot of people interested in the B20 project under one roof. I think, what you've done is awesome so far. So thanks for that.
yeah, I appreciate that. And obviously, thanks back to you as well for taking so much time to answer questions in the Discord in the last few, even months, I guess now. And it's gone by really fast, and obviously, been a crazy journey. So yeah, I guess we can dive right into the questions. I see a few questions from Hey, I'm the new guy with a lot of thumbs up. So I guess we'll kind of start with maybe provide, like, if you can, just like providing more details on the idea of the crypto tower. I think that's what a lot of people were asking about recently.
Sure, sure. Um, and just before that, I also wanted to kind of convey the news here.
Oh
You
yeah.
know that we are ready to go live with the buyout contracts, and the site's all set up. We'll be going live tomorrow, that is Sunday, at um 12 a.m. GMT Monday time at Singapore time, which I believe for the US it's around 1 p.m. or maybe like 11 a.m. I guess, Sunday.
Okay. 11
Yes,
p.m. Sometime. Okay, sounds great.
yes,
That's
yes.
great to hear.
So yes, super excited about that. I mean, just small things I wanted to clarify on the buyout was that. I mean, we've been testing it internally quite heavily, and it was supposed to go live about 3 days ago. But we also keep getting updates on the audit process and the vulnerabilities that are being discovered, and we had mitigated them. Just there was one which was discovered. Because there are a couple of the audit process basically works where there are multiple people who are looking at the code from different points of view, and these people are some of the best security minds in the industry and across the crypto space itself, right? So we take the audits very seriously, so much so that even for the B20 launch, the Metapalooza. Uh, if I had felt that we still needed some more time to make the contracts better, probably the crowd sale would not even have occurred. So that's something which we need to keep in mind, because we are in the space where we need to get things done right, and that's the main reason for the multiple. I would also call it as delays, but the wait is over, and yes, I mean, I'm super excited to see what can happen with the buyout itself, because um, from MetaPurse's side, from my side, from everyone's perspective, the creator's perspective, when we built this, we really didn't. So basically, the buyout was the end itself, right? Of the entire journey, and you put in the buyout clause, and basically that kind of sort of seals the deal here. But to see that an entire community around it had been formed was absolutely fascinating. So that's where we are right now. It doesn't make sense to come into this space with a huge blueprint, because most of the time that never works. You need to be really adaptive and understand how the situations kind of change, and how the market reacts, people react, etc. Um, so with that being said, I also wanted to kind of make sure that we have the AMA and sort of drive home certain points with the community itself, just around the launch of the buyout. So that's why I think this was a great time to have the AMA itself. And with that being said, I also want to make sure that we set the perspectives right over here. We set we make sure that we convey exactly what was the intention behind what we've been doing, and how it is more likely to evolve.
Yeah, for sure. Quick comment on the buyout. Totally understandable about the delays. I've seen a lot of kind of rugs, I guess, in the past few years, and it's definitely most important to get it right. So great to hear that you've cleared all the bugs and you're ready to launch. So
Oh
did you want
yeah.
to? Did you? Yeah. So did you want to maybe hop into the questions now, or did you have any other comments before we get started?
Sure. One more comment I wanted to make was, um, this has evolved into it's taken an entire life of its own, right? And at this point, it doesn't make it's become much bigger than MetaCoven himself or MetaPurse or even me. Um, um, and I think how we should actually look at this is exactly try to kind of understand how it should be looked at, and see how we can take it forward if we want to, because there are a couple of there are two different paths in which this can go, right?
Okay. Yeah, for sure. I think the sentiment in the chat in the past few days was kind of like, oh, we as a community need to veto veto the potential bids that come in when the buyout goes live, just because. I mean, I guess from some people's perspective, it's totally worth holding on to the tokens because it represents something that I guess is a little bit overlooked right now. Like we're still dealing with kind of 20 of people's OG pieces, right? And something like this will definitely never happen again, in my opinion. So, yeah, I agree that I think at this stage, like the sentiment is definitely towards veto. Quick question, actually. So, if a buyout does happen, um, is it automatically like can the holders still have the tokens in their wallet and just not redeem it, or how exactly would that work?
Yes, so that's totally in the hands of the token holder, right? The B20 token holder itself. So if the buyout happens, um, there we can kind of say that now B20 has a floor price, and users can actually redeem it for the floor price, or they can
Uh,
continue to hold it and then see how it goes.
okay, wow, that's very interesting. I just thought that there was just a period where you could redeem it, and then that's kind of it. But it's very interesting to hear that now you kind of have a choice. And is there a specific time frame in which, let's say, someone buys it out, where like you can redeem it or anything like that? I'm like, how long would the minimum price floor last? Let's say.
Forever, until all the B20s in existence have been redeemed.
Wow. Okay. Very interesting.
So
Um,
that's the thing. Um, so see, there's a lot of interesting things regarding the buyout itself. Um, because when I coded it, I remember this was way back in late December. Okay, the idea was to make sure that this could potentially evolve into something of a stable coin of sorts, backed by ethics, values, and metaversal entities embedded in it, and obviously community sentiment, uh, which in a way kind of like, so if you have a so hypothetically speaking, in case a buyout happens at say 80 million, then the B20's floor price is decided at 8 million, right? And then so that's about it. That it can't go below then at all, right? Because you've got the buyout contract to back up that. So that in a way kind of gives it a stable price. But you've also got this variable part where if the community chooses to kind of continue its journey, it's completely in their hands. So I felt that was a very interesting sort of logic to kind of implement into the code itself. But really, like our involvement or our perspective about the B20 ends with the buyout itself. It's not something that we envisioned. We didn't have plans for extending or like for creating something to continue its existence for life, because It's just of course being backed by the BP pieces, but it's also being backed by the virtual lands and music, right? So it is. I felt that it's something for people to kind of cherish for eternity.
Right. Okay. Very interesting to hear. So, and I guess Metakovan kind of talked about this a little bit in the clubhouse that we had. I think it was last week. So just to kind of, I guess, clarify for everyone. So once the bio contract is live, then Metapurse itself, obviously being involved in a lot of other different projects, are kind of leaving their focus of B20 a little bit behind, and then it's kind of up to the B20 community to create a new narrative. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, and if they choose to, right? And we, I can't say for sure. I don't think anybody can say for sure on how the community will react in case a buyout happens. We could have a 50-50 chance where 50% of the community decides to redeem their B20, and then there's another 50% that exists. And then how will that kind of determine the narrative going forward if the choice is made to kind of do something else with the B20 and the community. So that's the thing, it's like a twofold path. We can't be for sure. Nobody can say with certainty, what exactly can happen. And I think that's a very interesting point to be in because we can come up with ideas, right? We can always come up with ideas, implement them, and that's not the issue over here. I think the major issue is, how long how do we see the B20 itself?
Yeah, for sure. I think there's so many different ways in looking at B20, right? Some think it's an opportunity to invest in premium artwork. Some think it's a owning a piece of the digital Louvre. Other people think it's about the properties, right? So it'll be interesting to see where the community comes together, especially during the time of the buyout. Another quick question I had also was that let's say a buyout happens at your suggested price of 80 million. Um, can that floor be renewed? Let's say like a bunch of years down the line.
Actually, it can't. But the person who does the buyout, the bidder who gets the collection, can decide whatever they want to do with it, right? So they can choose whether they want to include, the remaining B20, or completely do something else with it, or totally choose not to do anything about it at all.
Okay, cool. So I guess that would be a pretty good transition in terms of like, oh, what can the community, kind of come up with in terms of bringing B20 into a new narrative. So did you want to
Yes.
maybe touch on the crypto tower a little bit? I don't want to push you, obviously, but I think that's a question that a lot of the people have been dying to hear about.
Oh, sure. So actually, CryptoTower was gonna be the next project, from being done by Whale Street and Metaverse. So the idea of the CryptoTower is to basically be a meta protocol in the metaverse. So imagine a building that where you can visit, just like the museums in the metaverse, right? You can visit a building and there are these ATM shops where you can deposit a certain amount, and the building takes care of managing that for you. And it has got a treasury into which the managed yield, for example, gets accumulated. And the treasury holders, the people in charge of the treasury, can kind of decide what to do with that. This is the high level overview of what the crypto tower itself is, and that is important to first of all understand, because it's not another DeFi protocol. It's a meta protocol, but which it exists exclusively in the metaverse. So the inspiration for this comes from an already existing the decentral games, the virtual casino on Decentraland. The idea of the treasury management is inspired by projects such as Polkadot, And the idea of a meta protocol is inspired by some wonderful protocols such as Wi-Fi. So it is going to be definitely, just like the B20 and any other project that Metaverse does, it is going to be the first of its kind, one of its kind, and an entirely new experience. And who else better than those who have been building the Metaverse to actually get this, make this a first of its kind in the Metaverse? So that's the goal. That's the long-term vision of what the Crypto Tower is going to be. And if the B20 community chooses to continue along the journey after the buyout, if they feel that this is an interesting idea, then I will build it. Then we all will build it together. We will brainstorm ideas on how to make it better, and we'll build it together. So that's the idea behind the Crypto Tower itself. It is a way for B20 holders to maintain the treasury of the Crypto Tower itself.
Okay, very interesting. A lot to unpack there. So I guess a bit of overview for everyone that's listening. I'm a little bit familiar with decentral games. So basically, the revenue earned from various casino games in Decentraland, it is then gone to the treasury, the decentral games treasury, and then that portion, a specific portion of revenue is sent to the token holders themselves, I believe, and then the other funds are used to, let's say, for example, buy new land in Decentraland. And then, so I guess comparing that to the Crypto Tower, so are you saying that, if the B20 people or holders decide to go on this journey and build this Crypto Tower, they would be like the currency itself, or like B20 would be the only currency that's accepted for Crypto Tower, or would it be like a combination of B20 and all the other Metaverse currencies that might come up later on?
So Metaverse's currencies, that's a totally different aspect, right? That doesn't. I don't even think Metaverse is actually going to involve themselves in launching any more tokens. But I'll let Tube answer that. Tube is also here with us on this AMA. So Tube, if you want to chip in on that, and then say how you feel about that, that would be great.
Hey, sure, I mean, it's nice to be among friends again, the B20 community. Like we were saying, the whole point of the Crypto Tower, or as they want to call it, the Crypto Citadel, I do like that name better between you and I, is to create a meta protocol in the metaverse, not something specific to tokens that were sort of conceptualized by Metaverse. Even B20 is practically out of our hands, right? It's with the B20 community. It's been sort of created by Wall Street and so on. It whether or not B20 is bought out or not is secondary. I think the Crypto Tower can still exist. It'll start off with some sort of a treasury, and then anybody should be able to put in tokens into that meta protocol.
Okay, very interesting. Thank you.
I mean that's what makes it like a true meta protocol, right? If it's like stuck to one particular entity or token, then it's very limiting for the community.
Right, for sure. Thanks for that insight. So I guess kind of thinking about it, I guess, for example, B20 holders could have a say in the governance of the meta protocol, and then for, let's say, they would want to purchase additional land in Decentraland or other games, and then like there would just be utility add that way. So very interesting, and I guess the next question that I have, or just discussion in general, would be what kind of like general timeline do you see for the Crypto Tower? Yeah. If you wanted to answer that, touch on that.
Sure. So typically, a project like this takes about 90 days to build. From making sure that it's making it airtight, and the technicalities behind that is one aspect, but making it truly a one of its kind really needs some more time to kind of envision the grandeur of an idea like that, right? So I would say typically about 90 days of a time frame. And then again, I don't think this should be something which one person decides or one person drives. Uh, it is more or less supposed to be, something which all of us organize around and then decide if we want to go towards the direction or not. So my stance over here is, obviously, whatever I build, uh, I do it with only if I totally believe in it, and totally believe that, yeah, this is actually going to help make an impact for the greater good, and especially, if we can create something for future generations to look up to, or get inspired by. So that's the sort of mindset with which I usually involve myself into anything I am a part of, be it if I'm building something for myself or with Metaverse or with anybody. So it's important to give it the time it deserves and the thought process and the mind space that it needs, and then totally kind of brainstorm, discuss with a lot of people on which would make a lot of sense, and then go ahead with it.
Yeah, the reason why I asked about timeline was just kind of thinking about like how fast the community would come in together and just brainstorm. So I guess what the community wants to know also is like how can we actually help you in planning for this crypto tower? Yeah, how can we contribute, whether that be in like a week or a month or anything?
Sure. I think the first step, which I feel would be really useful and valuable, is, first of all, if the community can try to kind of organize itself, and then, like, have a lot of productive discussions, of on the Discord channel, and then we can sort of have these weekly community calls. I actually want the community to kind of engage, and then, like, share how they feel, how ideas from them, and on how, so this is the grand idea, right? This is what is going to happen. How can we make it happen? I want the how. I think it would be nice if the community kind of engages in conversations regarding the how. It could be in the form of Discord chats over here, or we could have weekly community calls. But it would be wonderful if it's a collective effort. And for the first part is to, first of all, sort of organize ourselves around it.
Yeah, that sounds great. Another quick question was that so kind of building on these ideas that are to come, would they be just within the B20 community, or also kind of together with another group, let's say?
Yes. So these sorts of decisions, I think, would make sense if once we have the organized community, they should make such decisions if they want to team up with another group or a community, or if they want to chart the journey, by themselves. What I'm trying to say over here is, we have something really special over here with the community that's been created, and there are genuinely a lot of believers in the idea of B20 and what it has become and what it could be, right? So it it's really more than just one person right now. It has to be something which everybody chimes in, everybody feels like they're a part of it, and then drive that narrative. May help in making those decisions also.
Yeah, for sure. I think starting off with something like, every week or every few weeks have a call on the, or just in this voice channel, and then allowing community members to kind of give their opinion would be amazing. And actually, if anyone has something that they want to say, I would love for any of you guys to chime in. Just type in the B20 general chat, and then I'll give you I'll unmute you if you had any preliminary ideas, actually. So I guess to everyone as well, like, it doesn't just have to be about like, oh, what do we do with the treasury funds? Like, it could literally be anything, right? Like the name itself. I've seen a couple names in the AMA V channel as well. There's a CryptoTower and Citadel, and I know Twobadour likes that one. So yeah,
I love the Citadel too. I feel that it's already been taken, right? It's already prominent in another project, actually. the Citadel. So maybe something else, but the crypto Burj crypto, something like that.
Purge crypto. Yeah, that sounds awesome. Okay, well, I guess if there's any other questions that you guys had in the chat, I think we've answered most of them. I'm just scrolling through this right now. So let's see. Could you maybe touch on a little bit more of the role that the B20 token itself has in the treasury mentioned? Because like obviously the community is the front runner here. Like your idea is that the community is the front runner here, but and then Twobadour was saying how like multiple currencies could come together, and I guess this is also kind of something that the crowd could think about. But like, how would we make it so that B20 is like like a prominent part of this treasury? That'd be an interesting thought as well. I don't know if you had any ideas on that, but
Yeah, I mean, what I really like about what Snapshot has done is, kind of encourage token holders to kind of arrive at a decision in a very decentralized way. So one idea, I mean, one way to think of it is, the B20 holders collecting on Snapshot, or kind of approving a proposal on how to manage the treasury on a platform such as Snapshot would be great. But there's just one idea, right? And it's just an idea that's coming from me. But yeah, I mean, like, I think it's very important to be open and make this a very inclusive process, as inclusive as possible, because yeah, like I said, even with whatever Metacoven does or Tubar I do, I don't think one person should really kind of uh, dictate how it should go forward.
yeah, for sure. And did you actually maybe want to talk more about like what Snapshot actually is and how it works, just for those that are unfamiliar in the channel?
Sure. So Snapshot is basically a platform wherein any project can open up, a proposal mechanism. You can create your own page, and then you can enable anybody to come up with a proposal on how to make that particular journey or protocol or token better. And the token holders can decide whether to approve that proposal or veto against it. So one more thing is that, see, this was never envisioned before, right? Because B20 is not a token project or a protocol in any way. So, but just because it comes on Snapshot, it can't be looked at like that, right? So Snapshot is just one of the ways in which we can do it. But yeah, it's a good way to kind of submit proposals and approve them or disapprove them, and kind of in a very collective and inclusive way to kind of drive a certain project or a community-led effort forward.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for that explanation. I think that the first question on Snapshot should be what the name would be. So I think this question was already answered, Crinoid, but the other thing was what specific marketing plans in the works for B20. So I guess I'll touch on this myself before V does as well. So to me, like at this point, I think, well, first of all, the buyout would definitely create a lot of noise. And then the second thing is like, now that we have this new initiative, like it's up to us as a community, especially if we can leverage platforms such as Snapshot to be able to come together and vote on new ideas, such as like, how can we as a community, um, bring the legacy of Beeple and his works to the masses, right? Whether that be in the metaverse or just and beyond. And actually, V, I want to ask you too, like, Metaverse said they had a plan as well to kind of introduce like events, like Beeple events for like a special B20 event, let's say, because Twobadour was saying how people was, ready to sign autographs for every single B20 holder out there. So is there a way to tie this together, kind of like physical events or like in-person events to the actual CryptoTower, let's say? And then again, like people are asking the other if there's any other works or marketing works for B20 from your end.
Do you want to take that?
Sure, sure. There's two things here, right? And one of them is I'm going to take a slight step back in how we understand B20 as such. To approach it as a typical token project or a protocol-based token would be to completely miss the point of what we have in our hands. And I think that's very important to address and understand. I mean, think of it in its most reductive terms, right? You've seen other premium assets, say the Alien Punk tomorrow is fractionalized. The ownership of that is fractionalized. It's technically no different from what's happening to B20. You wouldn't ask the Alien Punk what its marketing plan is, would you? This is kind of like that. What we did is we bundled an experience within it, not a protocol, which is very important to understand. So there can't be roadmaps. There is no utility. It's not a utility token. There is no a governance mechanism that's built into its journey inherently. What we're trying to do is to right now leave it with the community to decide where they want to take it, but to expect a sort of a marketing roadmap from a frozen snapshot of a product or I mean of an asset would be I don't know, like I said, to miss the point, right? You have a first of its kind token, which is today the most widely known token in the world when it comes to NFTs. It's not Whale, it's not any other token which represents the space. If people know one token outside in crypto, in the non-crypto communities, it's B20, because of the constant exposure that Metacoven and I and Metaverse have had. Correct. So I don't know what more anybody could do to to call it a sort of a marketing push apart from the conversations we've had with the New York Times, the Washington Post, and so many of the other places. So that's what I believe, and that's what I want to sort of drum home into the community and into how we perceive this token itself. Now, coming back to the physical events, that's a definite yes. I mean, that's been people's wish all the while, and that's complete metaverse territory. It's something we wanted to do. Creating virtual events and virtual experiences is a means to be able to translate them into the real world as well. So whenever it's feasible, we will have a real world event. I don't know, it might be in New York or somewhere, uh, which people also will be part of, which will be open to the B20 community members. You know, for all the support you've given and for all the belief you've shown in the early days of this experiment. And so that's going to happen. It will continue to happen as well. We will do physical events around this community and the entire metaverse itself. I hope that clarifies things somewhat.
Yeah, that's an amazing answer. Thanks so much, Tuber. I definitely think that B20 has a name for itself already. So yeah. Well, I guess that pretty much wraps up all the questions. And then in terms of next steps, I would say, yeah, like I would hopefully, or I'll hopefully want to set up a chat with you, V, and the community, let's say, hopefully every week or so. I don't know if you're into that. And if anyone else has any suggestions for that, please do leave it in the general chat as well. But if did you have any other thoughts or closing thoughts that you had, V, before we head off?
I just want to clarify one more thing because I see another question over here. I think it was asked by, crypto Conan. I don't know. He specifically asked about, Metacoven's involvement, uh, or yeah, I think there's another question on whether Metacoven will participate in the veto or what is he gonna do with his with his B20. He's uh, he's a person of principles and he and a person of integrity, right? So he sticks to what he says. If he says he's not going to sell off his B20, he won't. What he chooses to do with it would really be up to him. He could choose to kind of just permanently lock it or put it up for a long-term vesting plan, but that's totally up to him. He doesn't intend in any way to kind of trade his B20 for something else, or he's not even going to touch it for some time. Um, And yeah, he's also keen on not participating in the veto action, and yeah, so basically he's not gonna he's not gonna do anything with the B20 that he has. That's a point I wanted to clarify also.
Yeah, thanks for that. I also heard in a clubhouse that Metacoven did with YouTuber, and I think he said that he's never sold an NFT or any type of
Yeah.
NFT asset for what, like 4 years. I think he sold one like for the first time 2 weeks ago or something. So that's if that's not an insight into what he's going to do with his B20, I don't know what would be. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I
I
don't
mean,
know if he
I
sold
know him.
anything ever, to be honest. I don't know if he sold anything ever. He might have given NFTs. He's given, for instance, the people who worked on the B20 project, some of the stakeholders, he gave open editions to, which have aged quite well, I might add. But he has never sold a single NFT ever, because, like he said in some of his conversations, uh, the arbitrage or the buying and selling of NFTs is not his source of wealth, or is not how he makes money. So I'm not saying it's an altruistic thing. I'm saying it's for the sheer joy of being able to do something for this metaverse and sort of to watch this space move forward, which has been all it's about, and that includes creating sort of financially sustainable circumstances for the ecosystem, which is what it's about. So he hasn't sold a single NFT.
Wow, even better. Thanks for the clarification. And V, I think you had something to add as well.
No, I mean, I just wanted to kind of vibe with what Tube said over there also, in the fact that, he he had a vision of what the metaverse was gonna be about already 4 years ago, and he knew exactly what he was going to do also. And I say this with a lot of confidence because I've seen him right from the time when he started in a very early time. In fact, I was one of those people who was lucky and honored to have him used his laptop when he just had a USB stick. So I know how he thinks, and we discuss a lot about the future, and how we want to kind of build it. So it's a very interesting time to right now that we've arrived, um, to kind of see how things have shaped up, and how we want to continue building the metaverse, with a very interesting projects also going forward. So I think part of the community that's really happy and content with how B20 has been so far, how it's evolved, or how it was even originated, are also very excited about the fact that they kind of understand. I feel that the community, that part of the community, understands where Metacove and Metaverse 2, all of us, we're planning to kind of go into the future, and I think that's the sort of mindset that would be very helpful, right? Uh, the more everyone journeys together, the more impact we'll be able to create in the real world also, even if we're building on the metaverse.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, and I'm really excited for the ideas that will come from the community in the next few days or weeks, and definitely excited to see what's going to happen with the buyout as well, because I know some of the community members have been talking about 0xB1 acquiring a lot of tokens as well. So, but anyways, I think we'll leave it at that, unless you had anything else to add, V.
I guess that's it from my side. And yeah, let's see how people see it. And, I think what would make more sense is to actually see how the buyout plays. So, it's going to go live on Sunday. So the ensuing week, we'll be able to kind of observe what happens around it. And then, it would make much sense to kind of then, start arriving at making decisions, or start thinking about it on a much deeper level.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan. I'll definitely message you maybe after the peak events of the bio, let's say, and then we'll come together again, and hopefully some of the community members will be willing to also take part in a voice channel conversation as well, and I'm very excited for that. So, but anyways, thank you everyone for listening. I know it's kind of late for those on the East Coast. So if you stayed up for this, really appreciate it, and hope you got some insights into the future. And yeah, we'll talk soon, V. And thanks again also as well to Twobadour for joining. Appreciated your insights as well.
Thanks,
yeah, okay.
everyone.
Okay, thanks everyone. We'll leave it at that, and we'll see you soon.